Alright, so I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, why the Kim Possible movie is so great. This is obviously not going to be about the live action one. I haven't seen it, don't have any opinion on it. This is just about Kim Possible, So the Drama, one of the movie events of my generation's childhood. So I have it queued up here. This isn't going to be like an actual, reaction or anything like that. This is just here for my reference. We can go through the whole movie and actually think about like why it was so amazing, because it was amazing, okay? It was a really good movie, especially for a TV movie, for a cartoon. All right, so first of all, starts off with an action set piece. That's par for the course for an action cartoon. It makes sense, but it's also very fun, very well choreographed, very funny, and it just, throws you right in and actually gets you right to the meat of what is going to be happening here. So that's very good. The second thing, let's move on forward just a bit. Yeah. This is like a really good scene. The opening, oh my gosh, that doesn't matter when. That new version of the theme song that is just like a play on old spy movies, and that sultry singing voice. I just love that. And the graphics that go along with it. This is perfect because when you think of Kim Possible, it is actually, in the spy genre. And to be able to see that for the movie that they were thinking about it, I just really love that. Okay. The next part that I want to talk about is really just the whole, like I said, the meat of the plot. So one of the things that like really stands out to me that I think just says it all is when Shigo is trying to figure out what is Draken's plan, and Draken tells Shigo, Kim Possible is not smarter than you. And I think that's very important because, well, he's just trying to butter her up and also kind of keep it on the down low. But it makes sense because, like, we're pretty much on the same level as Kim. We don't know what's going on. We have no idea what Draken is doing. Even though we see like the bits and pieces, we could never really comprehend what all these pieces are. Just like Shigo can. She could see all the pieces, but she doesn't really understand how figuring out what goes on in the teen mind is sort of carrying over to like all his new business ventures and his search for like this research, and it just doesn't make any sense to her. And I really like that it's very much a mystery what he's up to. And when it finally all comes together, you're just like, oh my God, that was for that, and that was for that. That all makes sense now. And so, obviously spoilers for what goes on in So the Drama, but if you haven't seen it now, go ahead, look it up. I'm sure it's probably on Disney Plus, but I don't care. Go ahead and pirate it because it's old and you just need to get it. You just need to see it. So his plan, it has steps and layers. Like, he's actually thinking of it. It's not just, oh, I'm going to get this weapon for world conquest. And, that's obviously a very straightforward plan that Kim foils every time. But no, he is actually thinking ahead of how to stop Kim while also getting his world domination goals. And those goals are, I would say those plans are separate, but they work together. He's actually thinking critically this time, which is very interesting to see a villain do that, to actually learn from their past mistakes and actually learn about their enemy and see it get used in the show. So his plan is to distract Kim with boys. And that seems like a very, simple and straightforward plan for like a teen show, but it's usually along the lines of, they just find like some teen guy and they're like, here, go distract this girl for a bit, which can obviously run into some trouble because if they're a regular human person, they're gonna catch feelings or, get involved in some sort of way, and they're either going to reveal your plan to your enemy or they're going to like want a bigger cut or whatever, and they're going to threaten to reveal it if they don't get what they want. They'll get a little greedy, basically. But Draken solves that because he ups his syntho drones, which is, I can't remember seeing them in the show at all. This is like a new thing for the movie, but they introduce it well ahead of the twist, so it doesn't come out of nowhere. We see Shigo get to fight them and see like what they actually are and what they are made up of. They're these clones that are pretty much made up of goo. They're like a goo clone. And that's what Dragon uses to distract Kim. He learns how to get inside the teenage mind. He gets his henchmen to like read teen magazines, listen to music, all that jazz, so that he can know how Kim thinks. And it just so happens that this is all coinciding with prom, which is basically a perfect time because you can sort of get into a teenager's mind when it comes to prom. Like, even the most cynical aren't that immune to it. And it's just perfect because he has this clone, this syntho drone, that is pretty much under his complete command. And that's perfect because he's basically a robot. So he could tell it what to do, tell it what to think. He's not going to have to worry about it falling in love with Kim and wanting to switch sides or whatever. It's completely his possession. And the other side of his plan, the actual world conquest plan, is using Kim's dad's technology to make these little tiny like McDonald's toys for Bueno Nacho, and those toys turn into big giant robots that could be used to take over the world. And it's like, if he just had the robot plan, it wouldn't have worked. Kim would have like she would have caught wind of it at some point and have been able to stop it like way ahead of time. But because she's distracted by this guy and distracted by prom, she isn't even really thinking about what could Dragon possibly be doing or what are like all this other stuff. She has no idea because she's thinking about other things. She has a whole life outside of saving the world. And that's one of the things I really love about Kim Possible. So that is like probably the best thing about this movie, is just the way that Dragon's plan comes together. Like, had certain things not happened, he would have won. Like, he was very, very close to actually winning this time, and I really like that sort of like level of suspense that you got when you saw all the pieces come together and realize what he was doing. Alright, so the next part I want to talk about is Kim and Ron's relationship. And I will say that, how should I put this? I was a really big Kim-Ron shipper back in the day, and I still am. I still really love their relationship. I will say that Ron's feelings do kind of feel like they come out of nowhere here, almost like he could have had feelings for Kim, but in the show I feel like it was mostly shown to be friendship for the most part, and it's just like those things were like, the guy comes in and all of a sudden the guy friend is like, oh wait, I actually do like her. Almost like, person taking that toy that you never really thought of, and now that you see them playing with it, you want it all for yourself. That's the vibe that I kind of sort of get, but knowing like who Ron is and knowing like how special him and Kim's relationship is, I sort of let it slide because I know that he's not, possessive of her or anything. And this isn't to do with the actual movie itself, but I really love how after this, in the seasons after, we actually see them get to date and be boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, you rarely see that in a show. That's usually like final episode, epilogue stuff. And I just love that they don't play no games. They said, yes, Kim and Ron are together. They are boyfriend and girlfriend. They're in a relationship. They're in love. And the series just continues after that. So I really love that sort of switch up on it. Let me see, what else do I want to talk about? Because this movie has it really would have been the perfect conclusion. The conclusion we got, I would say, is okay. And I do love that we got like episodes after the fact. But so the drama was just so perfect in its finality because we get to see, it is the usual Kim and Ron versus villain, and of course it would be Draken and Shigo because those are their main antagonists, the main villain, the one that actually has history with her family for some odd reason. Her dad and Draken went to like college together, and we get to see them face off against them for the last time. We get to see, the final showdown between Kim and Shigo. We get to see Ron sort of come into his own, and we get to see them finally get together and reach like that conclusion of their relationship. And so that's why I say this would have been a really good finale for the series as a whole. And I feel like a lot of people do consider it to be a finale, at least emotionally, because we sort of reached the end of the conclusion for all the characters. I don't really think I have many more thoughts on it. Like I said, I don't want to talk about the live action movie because that's just a whole different thing, and in a way, almost don't really want to consider to be Kim Possible. But it's another conversation. Possibly, I'm probably never going to see it, but Kim Possible, SOOOO the drama. It is amazing. It is iconic. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. Like, even though I just spoiled everything, I need you to just hunker down and watch it because it is a great movie. It is a great show. Like, when the live action movie was announced, I went back and watched like all the original episodes, and I was like, this show actually still holds up really, really great. And I still really love Kim as a character, and I really do wish there were more female characters like her. And to have a show that's like over a decade old and still kicking it and still relevant, I think that's something very special. So check out the original Kim Possible, check out SOOOO the drama. If you're so inclined, you can check out A Stitch in Time. That was also a very good TV movie. Not as great as SOOOO the drama, but it was just, you know, mid-season stuff. But yeah, that's all. Talk to you later.